Well, hello. Welcome to my homework. Welcome to today's study hall. It's a live study hall here on Facebook, and I have to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous just because I'm doing homework that I'm not really good at, which is watercolor. That's why I'm in this course. And I haven't had a lot of time to practice. And also just now, just really literally 4 minutes ago, right before I wanted to go live, I just threw a whole, look at that. I just threw a whole glass of water over everything. I'm so glad it's not on my computer. It's not on anything that I have lying around that can be broken by water, but I had to mop everything up. I'm like, okay, now I can do my homework. So, oh boy, the troubles of Facebook Live. And it's not like you can do it over, or start a little later. But anyway, that is all taken care of. It's a little bit messy, my desk right now, but I will take care of that later. Right now, I need to do my homework. And it's my homework for the watercolor course, Watercolor Rules and how to break them. And I hope if you're watching this, that you are also in the course and that you are enjoying the second week of the course with Ian Sidaway. Ian is, our professor, our watercolor professor, and he has taught us so much last week. I'm still working on that, to be honest. And now he's also teaching us so much more this week. And I thought I would tackle something that I always have a lot of trouble with, and that's making those washes. And of course, Ian already said that those washes that he showed, and I am especially referring to the washes that are the flat wash and the graded wash and the variegated wash. And he says you hardly ever really use it when you are painting, unless you have like big surfaces to cover. And well, I don't think I will use it often, but I want to be able to. I always struggle with blue skies. Should I or should I not paint them? Sometimes I just leave them white because I just don't want to go into the trouble of doing those washes. This is also why I'm a little bit nervous about doing my homework here live, because I'm afraid I will mess up completely. And very often I end up with backruns. I am totally for embracing backruns, so I don't really worry about it. But let's just dive in and try it. And maybe you have your watercolors out as well, and you wanna try again too. Maybe you already did your homework for Ian. I also have some exciting other tools. I have some sponges, so I want to try those out, see what I can do with that. And hopefully you will join me, and hopefully you will enjoy my messing around and also messing up. So I just first wanted to, by the way, very happy you're all here. Thanks for watching, and thanks for adding some comments here as well from all around the world. I can see that. I see that other people also have a problem with making washes, so I'm really happy that I'm not the only one. And watercolor problems also are, dumping your water bottle right at the moment that you need it. Anyways, if you have any questions, I will try to answer them, but I'm also trying to manage all of this here and trying to do my homework in a bit of a consistent way. But first, I wanted to show you a few of my sketchbook pages to explain the problems that I have with washes and how I usually fix them or deal with them. So let's have a look first before we dive into any other stuff. So, for example, here's a page I did in Rotterdam not so long ago, and as you can see, there's another thing. This is not watercolor paper, so this paper reacts quite differently than watercolor paper. It's very smooth. I love it. I love it for pen, and you see here, this is quite an okay flat wash actually that I did. But with this paper, you sort of have to smear your watercolor onto the page, and sometimes I even rubbed it in a little bit, and I made a few different layers. And that's usually what I do if I try to make a wash. I don't try, only if it's smaller spaces, then I try to do a flat wash or maybe even a graded wash. Usually it's sort of like not even on purpose that it happens. So that's why I think the watercolor course is so awesome, because you can do things on purpose if you know how to do them. What I wanted to say is that here Ian talked about wet on wet and wet on dry, and what I often do is this is, I think, wet on dry because it dried quickly. I was outside, it was windy, dried quickly, and that way I could add darker shades to the water. But you can also see that I added some dry brush on it, also not really on purpose. It kind of works, but I would have been also happy to have a bigger wash, like more of a purposeful wash. Again here, I love the color. I had no idea what was happening here. Now I know that's gum arabic that is making those shiny pools. So that's good to know. And here is a typical wet on wet thing going on. I added a wash that was purple. I thought it wasn't dark enough, so I added some more with a little bit of a darker shade. And once that had dried a little bit, then I did some extra spattering, which I think works great, and it also works better than a flat wash would work, because this was actually in a forest, and I think this, this organic shape that happens is sort of fitting the idea of trees. I don't know why here is just backgrounds. It happens to me all the time. I don't really mind actually. Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're bigger. I think it's fine. It adds some texture. But if you're aiming for a flat wash, then backgrounds are quite an ache, I think. Here, blue sky. It was a completely flat blue sky. You know the skies that are it's all blue. I had no idea how to even create that. So I often just if I'm on location, I take my water brush, and that doesn't give you a lot of freedom for big strokes, of course. So I did something blobby here. It's fine. I mean, the color is great, and that's really what I was aiming for. But it would be great if I would know how to make a flat wash if I wanted one, or a graded wash if I wanted one. And what I often do, what I really, really enjoy doing, is using layers, wet on wet, wet on dry. It feels just more free to me, and it makes it easy to add another darker layer for some extra depth and shading. And of course the spattering is just fun and awesome. And I see that Marlene actually asks a question about that sky. This sky, she says, so you used gum arabic for the sky? No, there's just gum arabic in the paint that I use, and the shiny bits, that's the gum arabic that shows, that is in the paint. What was I? I can't remember. Oh, right. So this is really layered, and I feel just more familiar with that and more comfortable doing that. Sometimes it just takes a lot of layers. This is my view from my window where I live, and I have hesitated to dive in and paint it, but finally I took the plunge, and I tried using a lot of different textures there, and it took quite a few layers, and then drying, and then adding another layer, and then drying again, and I tried to mix as many green as I could, and I'm quite happy with it actually. Here again, a blue sky, which is just sort of, I just fill it in kind of sloppy. Not great, but it works. And then here again, you can see how comfortable I am doing stuff with just a dried layer and then adding a layer on top, the glazing. That really works well, I think, and it also really works well with this type of paper. This is a Hanemühle Nostalgie sketchbook. So, shall we move on and do some painting? I'm a little bit hesitant and a little bit afraid, but let's just dive in. Okay, so let's activate those pigments. I don't know if that really activates the pigments or if it's just wetting the paint. Anyway, it's great to have that paint wet and a little bit soft already. Louise also asks about that painting of those trees, if I used different tools or brushes. I actually didn't. I think I actually did use my, where is it? My, now I lost it. My water brush. I think this was all done with a water brush. So, yeah, it was. And I actually, with my water brush, I used, I squinted the brush between my fingers, and then I could make these little marks that look like, I guess it looks like grass. To me, it looks like grass. So I used a simple watercolor set and my water brush, so no special tools. Joanna is saying ooh a lot while I was showing my pages. Thank you, Joanna. Oh, we are out of focus, but I think we are back again. Okay, let's make a wash, shall we? So while I was talking about the sky, I guess I'll just paint a blue sky. I'll just make it really simple, plain blue. Of course, you want to know what kind of blue this is, and I am not entirely sure because I never check. I can get the tube later on if you really want to, but it's Daniel Smith, so maybe someone has a bit of a idea what kind of blue from Daniel Smith this could be, and then maybe you can put it in the comments, and I probably if I see it I will say, yeah, that's it, now I remember. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to mimic what I've seen Ian doing, like mixing up enough paint with quite enough water, and let's dive in and make a flat wash, shall we? So we pull that brush slowly and steadily, and this is what happens to me all the time. I get these big beads of water. It might be my paper that I'm using. It might be that I don't have it tilted. I'm not sure what to do. I'm just going to do this now, but I'm sure that will, change the whole thing. And he also said that if you have a pool like this, you can just dry your brush and then pick it up a little bit, clean it up a little bit. I think you need to be really careful with that. I already see backgrounds happening here. But hey, it's quite a neat flat-ish wash if we let it dry. So let's let that dry. I'll do another one, maybe a green one. Big green straight from the pan. Maybe I will mix it with a little bit of yellow just to give it a bit of a warmer feeling. And I'll do it again below it. And already I can see and feel that this pigment, it feels like it reacts a little bit different than the blue one. And I want to leave this to dry because I'll have a little plan with this. So, not sure if the plan will work out, but we'll see later. Pick up just a little bit of that paint here, and I'm sure that will lead to backgrounds again. So I will need to get back to my videos and see how Ian does that, making them so super nice and flat. Yeah, so I will leave this to dry for a little bit, and I'll get another page. Because I want to do one of those graded washes, which would be really great also for skies, or even for the ground sometimes. Shall I just do a completely different color? Let's paint red sky or something, purplish red sky. I love this color. This I know, this is quinacridone rose. I know this color. Okay, so the way Ian has taught us to do this is to start with quite some paint on your brush, mixed with a lot of water, and then again you make a pass. I'm not even sure if I'm using this brush the right way. And then you dip and you pick up again some paint, but with a little bit more water, and I just picked up green too, so I'll do that again. Maybe this is too wet. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to work my way downwards to create a lighter shade and yet a lighter shade. At least the shade seems to become lighter, so that's good. Okay, there's my graded wash. I think that's excellent. I can already see the backgrounds happening. I don't know even what this is, and oh, look at that. That's a mess. It's a complete mess. No, I did not wet the paper first, Jen. It's just dry paper. And the size of the brush, Daisy, is it a 0 maybe? Or is it 805? I don't know. It's Raphael Soft Aqua Petit Gris Imitation Squirrel. 805 it says. Yeah, it's kind of it's nice, a nice shape. It's not too big, not too chunky. It holds a lot of watercolor, and I don't work with it that often. That's why I'm so messy, because I really don't know how to control this whole thing. And yes, Dawn, that is a very good point, actually, that making a gradient works better if you have a slight angle down your surface. I don't have an angle right now because I want to show you as well, so that's absolutely true. It makes it easier. Let's try again with another color just because it's fun and because we can laugh again. I'll take my favorite color. And there's actually another thing about this color. This is a cobalt turquoise, I think. And it gives a lot of granulation. So even if I would make a very good flat wash, I would still have a lot of texture in it because it always granulates. I guess it's because of the pigments it's made out of, and it has a bit of a reaction. I kind of like it, and I love the color. Okay, let's try that again. See what's happening? You can see that granulation happening right away. Well, it's a very successful session, this, isn't it? I'm learning tons. But still, I think it sort of runs into lighter. It's not that bad. Maybe I'm using too much water. Could be. I don't know. The brush does hold a lot of water, so that might be my problem. Maybe I'm doing it all wrong. But hey, I'm just testing and I'm just experimenting. So I hope you will bear with me. As I'm making a mess anyway, let's try a variegated wash, which I think is a beautiful word anyway. So that's a good reason to try that. I'll try another color. Some fresh water as well. Let's do something bright. Some red. And then I will bring in some yellow as well. And I think with the variegated wash, it's important that the paint that you have diluted, that it's diluted in sort of the same amount of water versus paint. And I think I kind of did that, but I'm not sure. So here we go. Let's try again. I'll just do it on the same page. That's so beautiful. Red. Now I'll get some of that red and get some of that yellow. Mix that in. Of course, you need to be kind of quick with the mixing. Don't wait too long because you want the paint to be wet so the colors can run into each other. I think I'm doing quite an okay job, even though I have still these really big pearls of water pooling down. So if anybody has tips for this, I'm open to them. Open to hear those. Right. Luckily, there's other stuff that you can use. For example, I found this in the art supply shop. it was like 50 cents or something. I'm not sure. Um, and I don't even know what it's for, what it's usually used for. But the first time I saw it, I saw a lettering specialist use it. And I think it's actually great for washes. Let's see if I have enough paint here. Have a look at this. Speaking of very straight washes, maybe you can even do this. Huh. Maybe I can even pick up some of those beads. That's pretty awesome. So that's a hack that you can use. It's a very simple, cheap tool. Very handy. Great for washes. Check it out. That is a flat wash. I totally tricked everything and hacked it all. Right. I think Glokia has a great point. She says the way I do these washes is do sort of a zigzag, going from left to right and then right to left, picking the bead up. That is a really smart one. That's a good one. I will look at this happening here. Love that background. It's beautiful. And oh yes, Eliza, she actually likes the beading effect. Well, so do I. I think it's fine. I think it works great. There are other tools that you can use for flat washes and other washes. And until I saw Ian Sidaway use that fan brush, I was always sort of I always wondered, what is that for? Why? How do people use that? And I love the way he uses it also for that you can also use it for backwashes, and because it is a certain shape, you will get that shape in your wash as well. But kind of like how that works, you can get a lot of extra texture as well. You need to take care of what you actually pick up on your palette as well. But I kind of like this. That's great. This would be great for when you paint buildings or something. You can really add some texture just by a few strokes. That's fantastic. I love this. Love this hack. Okay, so 2 hacks, this one and this one, which aren't really hacks, of course. It's just, these are just great tools to use. Let's have a look what else I wanted to do, because I also have some extra tools here, which I am quite excited about. And those are the sponges. Let me just clean my water. Hang on. Get rid of that. Get some clean water. While doing this on a square meter. No wonder I just threw a whole thing off the table. Yes, this would be great for drawing wood as well, Eliza. I think that's a great one. You can get a lot of texture with this little baby. I think it's really good. I like it. I might just bring that with me every so often. Okay, so the sponges. I found these. They just sell this in art supply shops, which is great. They had all sizes and all kinds of different shapes, so I just took 2 different ones. And I think actually this one might be really good to create flat washes with as well. So let's give that a try. Just dip it into water first. Get rid of the excess water. Let's go for some of that red. Look how it's all gone. It's just all gone. I'll take some from here too. See what that does. That's interesting. It makes It really dilutes the water to a very light shade. And again, you can make very soft shapes with it. I like it. Oh, look at that. That's really nice. I think that this would really work well for grass. I think it would. Unless, I mean, you would need to make it green, of course. Clean that off. Right. I want to use that later. Let's use a big one now. Maybe first I need to mix another color. I will go for some green again. I think I need to mix a lot if I want to use that sponge, because the sponge soaks up everything. Okay. Take another sheet. Oops. And clean my water again. Running out of water soon. I use sponges. Okay. Dip that in there, wet that, and then get rid of the excess water. I'm just mimicking Ian Sidaway again. And now I'll just pick up some paint here. Takes a lot. And make some texture with that. Look at that. That's excellent. But you can see how much it dilutes actually. So I think you might need, if you want stronger colors, you might need more paint and less water, or maybe just more layers. And now there's something I want to try. So I will just make a bit of a darker wash, or at least less diluted with water. Try again, see if that does anything. Look, that's a little bit darker already. I like that. And I think this would be so good. I always struggle to paint trees because, well, you saw that page with those trees. That I mean, I think that was really good. I was really happy with that. But now I was thinking, maybe on this background, now that it has dried, I can paint a tree. I'll just paint a tree from my imagination, and with some of those tricks, and maybe I can add some grass here as well. So let's see if I can pull it off using my own washes. That I am quite proud of these washes actually, even if there's a little bit of a background. Looks pretty okay to me. I hope you agree. Okay, so I'm going to paint the tree over this wash. So I think I need quite a dark color. So I will darken my green so it really stands out and it's not like a very faded tree that's not really a tree. Okay, let's give this a go. Back to my sponge. I love the texture of it. It's also so soft. It's really nice. Okay, let's do this thing. Well, that's not too bad, is it? I think if I would leave this to dry, I could do another layer, but this is really great. I love this. I like this. And how long did that take? Like 20 seconds or something? Instant trees. It's perfect. It's really perfect. So if I wanted to also do a little bit of grass there, I leave that to dry a little bit. I think the grass can be a little bit lighter. That's a bit of a yucky color. That's fine. Yucky is good. And I'll use the other sponge to try and add a little bit of grass texture. See if I can pull that off. Maybe it's too dark. I'm not sure. Maybe, maybe not. I feel a little bit like Bob Ross. I'm adding a happy little tree. I'm painting some happy little grass pieces. Right. Now, of course, we need a stem for that tree. And I think I might try some of those tricks that Ian showed us. Maybe this, maybe both. I don't know. Let's first just make a right color brownish, dark brownish for the tree stem. Okay, that might work. Let me think. Yes, this is what I will do. Never done this before, so this could be interesting. Just feed that pen, dip pen, just a normal dip pen, and there we go. Painting a tree. I'm not sure if this is the right approach to paint a tree, but hey, I'm having fun. Just for some variety, I'll also try the bamboo pen. So I've tried the dip pen, now the bamboo pen. Let's see if that does anything different. Oh yeah, much thicker lines. Oh, and it runs out of paint quickly. Doesn't really work for me, this. Well, I think this needs, I need to fill this actually with some, maybe just with a simple brush. Or should I just use this? Just because I can. I think I should. Oh, that's actually great for texture. Look at that. Ha! Perfect. That's perfect. Oh, and I could do this for some extra branches. It's kind of cool. That gives me another idea to use this for some extra. Oh, that's too wet. Just let that bleed into each other a little bit so it blends in. I love the layering of that texture. I think this should dry a little bit, and then I can add another layer with the sponge. I'm quite happy actually with this, with these, you know, the things that I'm discovering here. It's fun. It's really, really fun. In the meantime, let's see if there are any questions. Oh, a close-up shot. Yes, well, I have to just tilt it up then. This is what I'm doing right now, and as you can see, it needs to dry a little. I don't know if I can wait for it, or that we just need to finish this thing off before it has dried. Are there any other questions? Eliza said it seems dry, you know. I don't know exactly what you mean. Maybe it's this one, the bamboo pen, seemed a little bit dry. It's true. It's kind of hard to fill that. I'm not sure why that didn't work out that well, but because the first thing I did, it was great, but I also like the drier strokes. Actually, it adds texture. Bamboo pen, dip pen, happy little trees indeed. Koosje, Bob Ross, Kuna. I like that. And yes, that's true, Eliza. If you work with the sponge, it kind of looks like a Rorschach test. It's true, but look at that. I'm amazed by the texture. I wonder if I actually would take a sponge with me on location if I'm painting trees, because I always want to pack light, you know. Just always want to pack light, and then taking this and water, and I don't know if it fits my usual needs, but maybe it'll change. It could change. Good. Are there any questions in the meantime? Carol says that it didn't really work for Ian either. The bamboo pen, yeah, I think it's supposed to be dipped into a lot of ink, perhaps. And I did in brown ink, as you can see. I've used it with brown ink, and that worked. I think it's also supposed to run dry very quickly. So yeah, it's just a fun thing to play with and to add for extra texture and all that. Oh, Marlene asks how I attached my pens onto my palette. It's just double-sided tape. I just found good double-sided tape, and yeah, used it like that so I could fit in more. But I might actually change it up again, because I don't actually need all these colors. I might want to tone down. I'm not sure. It's always playing with your palette, isn't it? And every time you often find new colors that you love, and then you want to add, and then you need to decide which one to replace, all that. So what if you drew with the bamboo on wet paint? Oh yes, that's a good one. You can, oh, I'm actually also making a mess here. So that's something that Bone asks. So I think that's a good idea. If you have wet paint, if you have a wash of wet paint, you could actually use the bamboo pen to drag it across to add texture, I guess. I'm just really now, this minute, I'm just experimenting. It's kind of cool. Actually kind of cool. Yeah. Good. I am very anxious to add something more here, so I'm just going to take the plunge, and there's some wet paint here that I might mess up. So maybe I mess up my tree, but who cares? It's just a happy little tree. Just dab a little bit here to get that excess paint off. And then I want to mix another dark green, put that on top. And then I might actually want to go outside and paint a real tree, because the weather actually today in Amsterdam is really, really gorgeous. It's been cold, it's been raining, and today it's sunny and beautiful. And I am doing my homework inside, just like you guys. Okay, let's try again. On top of this, I will do another run of that sponge. I'll take another side of the sponge just for different texture. Pick up some of that paint. I love the texture on the palette actually that it makes. And there we go. This is great because it gives that natural feeling of, or the natural look of a tree where you see through the leaves. You see the background through the leaves. So you see that blue wash through the leaves. Is that in focus? I sure hope so. I don't think so, actually. And now that I'm looking at this one, I love this. You can use this for grass as well. Can you imagine just painting some just a flat wash with green, and then use that bamboo pen and add some strokes and some lines, and then you have grass. Love that. Okay, I think that's my homework for today. I hope it actually also, you actually learned something from it, because it's been a little bit messy, and it's been discovering things as well. But I do like discovering things as you are doing them, and your homework is perfect for that, to just try things out and discover new techniques and new textures. This one is a favorite now. Again, I don't know if I would take it with me on location. Just like this, it just seems like it's all, messy. And what do you do with a wet sponge afterwards? Do you put that in your bag? I don't know. But these are all really fun additions to your art supplies, and fun additions to your watercolor skills. So if you are just coming in, I'm sorry, because I just did my homework. It's on the screen next to my face. I painted a tree. And you can watch the recording of this later on, so don't worry about it. And I loved being live. I loved sharing my messiness. Take a look at my dried washes. Backgrounds all over. So there's even the one that I made with that flat brush. It has backgrounds as well. So there's a lot to still learn. I think this just takes a lot of practice. It also takes different papers, trying out different kinds of paper, trying out different kinds of paints, trying what happens with more diluted paint, less diluted paint. We just need to keep going and keep practicing, and then in the end we will get more confident. We will know how to approach certain things, and how to paint trees. So I hope this helped a little bit. I hope this is a bit of an addition to what Ian told us all, and I think Ian has told us a lot this week and last week. We're all still working on the past 2 weeks. Next week we'll have a completely different approach to watercoloring. Very playful, so make sure that you bring some imagination, and you bring some extra tools as well, and it'll be a lot of fun. But for now, go ahead, do your homework, have fun, try out all those tools that you have, even maybe stuff that just lies around in the house that you think, well, maybe I can add some texture, and make those washes. Lots of colors, pretty colors. Have fun. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. I really enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you in class. Bye now.